significant home field advantage. 2 blowout wins already this year against Charlotte and Florida State here. Austin Parker, redshirt freshman, will kick away to start our night. BYU, Mississippi State, back end of our doubleheader from Provo. Let's get your Friday night going. Big Saturday of college football. We'll lead you right into it tonight. And from the 1-yard line, maneuvering is Malik Williams, and he gets stacked up right at the 20 on a 19-yard return. With the number 1 offense comes an impressive impact player and a lot of weapons for this Louisville team. One of them is James Quick.
They've got a lot of weapons at him, but James Quick, number 17 tonight's tall, fast. He was a great basketball player in high school, super track, but he is a guy that can be a deep threat. And you got to watch him early in the game because these guys did hit him on the first play against Syracuse. And to try to stop Lamar Jackson on defense, Ben Humphreys, really good middle linebacker for Duke that's got very good instincts and a good tackler in space.
So on first down, Jackson, as he's done before, off play action, has nothing downfield, gets pressured by Dominic McDonald, and somehow finds an alley, and this is what Lamar Jackson has done so well. The second leading rusher in the ACC picks up 10 and a first down.
Well, and this is what's so hard about trying to defend Lamar Jackson. He goes back in the pocket, he sits up, he looks, nothing's there, and he runs the ball, second down and 1. I mean, just very, very hard to stop. They're going to have to try to keep him in the pocket to win this ball game tonight. You can't let him run the ball.
Pressure off the edge from the safety, and James Quick is there at the 35-yard line, and they'll push his forward progress an extra yard to the 36. Got hit immediately in space by the safety DeAndre Singleton, and it's second down.
What a quick release from this young quarterback. He's very accurate. Good to get James Quick back on track after the last play of the Clemson game where he didn't quite make the first down. He's had a really tough week emotionally.
On second down, Jackson keeps, and Jackson gets stuffed about a yard shy of the line to gain by Joe Giles Harris. You were talking about James Quick. Molly McGrath has more.
Quick took that loss to Clemson to heart after coming up short on that final 4th down. Bobby Petrino told us Quick crawled into a shell, didn't answer his phone for a couple days. Petrino was worried and had to call Quick's parents to come visit and pull him out of it. Lamar Jackson trying to get his confidence back, maybe why he's targeting him early, guys.
And Lamar Jackson hands off for a first down for Brandon Radcliffe, one of the best running backs in the country in terms of yards per carry. And Louisville again has a first down.
We had a young guy that missed a block in one of our ball games at Texas. It was a key game, and it bothered him so much that we found him in the dressing room all bundled up in a corner the next day, Adam. So these guys feel a lot of pressure. It's even worse now with social media.
And Louisville is in a high leverage spot as a top 10 team. Back to the ground, and Radcliffe slipping into Duke territory. A strong run to the 47. Picks up 9 yards there. Louisville is the #1 scoring team in the country. Bobby Petrino, an exceptional offensive mind. They're the top offense in the country, averaging 660 yards per game. 4th in rushing, 11th in passing, and the only team with 300 yards passing and rushing per game in the country. That is the snapshot of this Louisville offense, which returned 10 starters from a year ago, including Lamar Jackson, who throws on second down and 1. And now under pressure, trying to get away, and has an open man in the flat. Wide open, Jamari Staples. Jamari Staples got lost by the Duke defense and finds himself in the red zone at the 18. 29-yard play.
Had a 4-man rush that time. You can't let him stand back there that long, because with the ability of these Duke wide receivers, if you allow him to stand and then move a little bit, set his feet and throw it downfield, they're going to find an open receiver every time.
On first down, it is Jackson on the keep and sprints his way to the 14-yard line. Joe Giles Harris, one of the 2 linebackers in this 4-2-5 look for the Duke Blue Devils, makes the stop.
Yeah, it's really good defense by Duke. They're going to get after the quarterback, and Giles is a freshman that's actually roommates with Humphreys, and they're the 1 and 2 tacklers on this Duke defense.
And they're going to be exceptionally important tonight if Duke wants to stay in this game on defense.
Duke's coaches told us they're going to get after Lamar Jackson, be really physical with him, and try to get the ball out of his hands on the option.
Jackson to throw. And he lost it out of his hands, just kind of slipped out incomplete. So that'll bring up third down.
Second down.
The lead official is Riley Johnson.
Third down. Excuse me.
You just did a good job of jumping in front. He closed the window that was open, and Lamar saw it was closed and couldn't hang on to the ball. One of the concerns, Duke's not getting pressure with Ford. They're going to have to bring more.
And they will on this play. Jackson on the crossing route, and he's got a receiver in quick for the first down. Inside the 10, it's 1st and goal for Louisville. This will be a 10-play drive at least.
I think we're seeing the progress of Lamar Jackson right there. Safety blitz, it comes, gets right in his face. He gets it out of the hands quickly for a first down.
He is responsible for 14 passing touchdowns, 14 rushing touchdowns this year. He bullets one to the end zone, and Louisville is on top. Jalen Smith is the man for the touchdown.
Number 8, Lamar Jackson, 5 yards. Number 9, Jalen Smith for the score.
Touchdown number 29 for Lamar Jackson, his 15th through the air.
There's going to be some mismatches with the Louisville wide receivers and the Duke secondary. He sits back in the pocket. He finds Saxton, and one-on-one, perfect throw for the touchdown. What a drive by Lamar Jackson. If there's any question of whether Louisville was going to be ready to play at him, it just got answered.
Coming off a tough loss against Clemson, the bye week to sit on things, they were raring to go and ready to go. And Lamar Jackson engineers an 80-yard drive in less than 4 minutes. Louisville, number 7, is on top 7-0.
Look at all these purchases you made with your...
Lamar Jackson engineering an impressive drive. 80 yards down the field, and Louisville on top, seeking its 500th program victory tonight. Lamar Jackson 4 of 5 to start the night. 49 yards through the air, did some damage on the ground as well. And now responsible for 29 touchdowns, entered this game with more touchdowns responsible for than 101 FBS teams this year. Blanton Creaky has taken over the kicking duties since the Marshall game. And still the kickoff man will launch one with the left foot. And Sean Wilson, who's got a kickoff return for a touchdown this year against Notre Dame, will take it across the 20-yard line. So Thomas Sirk re-injured his torn left Achilles before the season began. So Daniel Jones and Parker Bain battle for the quarterback spot. Jones wins it, a redshirt freshman who does have 8 interceptions on the season. That's the most of the ACC. But notice his 62% completion rate. 5 of those interceptions came against Virginia in a really good defensive performance by Bronco Mendenhall's team. But Jones has performed well. Remember, 3 touchdowns, 290 yards against Notre Dame in that 38-35 win.
And everybody's telling us they think he is going to be a great quarterback in the future, so it'll be fun to watch his progress tonight.
In a tough atmosphere. We'll start off this drive from the 21-yard line. And Sean Wilson, one of a couple of backs that is going to have to make a significant impact tonight, gets stacked up for a loss by Drew Bailey.
Todd Grantham said he's going to make sure they stop the run because they're really concerned. If they can stop the run and make Daniel Jones beat them, they think they'll be fine.
Duke on offense averaging just 24.5 points per game thus far. That's 12th among 14 teams in the ACC. They've had some injury issues up front, but their center Austin Davis is starting tonight in the middle. He dealt with a leg injury last week in their 13-6 win against Army. Wilson trying to be shifty straight up the gut. He'll get maybe a couple, and it sets up 3rd down and 9. Jalay Duncan is dealing with a knee injury right now as well. And Wilson and Duncan are a very important tandem in the backfield.
But they're going to be our impact players for Duke because Duke's got to run the ball, slow the game down, and keep Lamar Jackson on the field. They got to be the two-headed monster. And trying to stop them is going to be Josh Harvey Clemens, 6'5", 228-pound guy that plays nickel. He plays linebacker. They never take him off the field. He is a special player, one of the most versatile players in college football.
And now on a blackout night at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium, the crowd gets loud on a 3rd down and 10. Jones underneath the tunnel screen for T.J. Ramming, and he's got the 1st down and more. T.J. Ramming inside the 30 of Louisville. Finally run down by Jair Alexander. after an explosive Blue Devil play of 51 yards.
This is the perfect call by David Cutcliffe. From the field, double blitz. They bring the safeties. He hits the screen underneath it. Everybody's gone. It's man coverage. Easy tunnel screen for a huge first down. What a call by David Cutcliffe.
A very good offensive mind in his own right, and a very good offensive coach. That's going to be fun tonight. Cutcliffe against Petrino. Jones looking at twin stacks, and he'll throw to one of them in ramming. And he'll surge forward to the 25-yard line. He'll pick up 3 yards to set up second down.
Duke knows they're going to get a lot of pressure tonight, so we're going to see a lot of quick things happen, quick screens, 3-step drop. Get the ball out of Daniel Jones' hand as fast as you can.
Turnovers have been a major issue this season for Duke. They have 18 turnovers. That's the second most in the country. They only had 21 turnovers all of last year. And Louisville has been a very good takeaway team, and they have turned their takeaways into 65 points. Only Alabama has cashed in at a higher rate this year. Second down and 7, and it's a keep by Daniel Jones. He's got the first down inside the 15-yard line. Much more athletic than people give him credit for. Not a runner like Thomas Sirk, and there's less quarterback run, but he's a good athlete.
And folks, he's 6'5", about 215. He reads the inside zone. He takes a play out of the Lamar Jackson playbook. He turns up and makes a huge first down. Again, good play call. Going to the boundary to see what David's got up his sleeve. He and Zach Roper, offensive coordinator.
First year as the offensive coordinator for Roper, 9th year on staff. Play clock winding down. They get the snap off, and Wilson goes up the middle. Perhaps checked it to that run play to pick up 2 yards, and it's second down.
They had both safeties about 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. You start looking at Chucky Williams and Josh Harvey Clemens. Todd Grantham is not going to let these guys run the football. He'll give them a quarterback run. He'll give them a screen, but he's going to keep these 2 running backs from dominating this game.
Remember, Louisville has not allowed a score on an opening drive in any half this year against any opponent thus far, and it's second down and 8. I don't mean a touchdown. I mean field goal, touchdown, anything this year.
A lot of guys near the line of scrimmage.
They'll try to run against it. Wilson lunging inside the 10-yard line, down to the 9. Drew Bailey wrapped him up for 3, and it's going to bring up third down and about 5 here.
They've got 9 guys in the box. They're going man outside, one-on-one. David's got to dial up a trick here and see what he can pull. Probably something outside, maybe a fade, maybe moving the quarterback a little bit. Got to try to score, but he'll take 3 on the first drive if he doesn't get something significant here.
Third down. Jones underneath and rumbling in Eric Schneider, and he is in for a touchdown. The redshirt senior, a touchdown in a second straight game, and for the first time all year, Louisville gives up a score on a half opening drive.
Once again, really good play call by the Duke staff. He fakes the dive up inside. He rolls a little bit to the right. He pulls in Josh Harvey Clemens just enough that he gets the tight end Snyder outside of Clemens for the touchdown. What a drive by Duke. Overcame 2 or 3 second and third and long situations. Outstanding first drive of the game.
And remember that 51-yarder to T.J. Ramming that helped keep that drive alive early in the drive. That was the longest play allowed by Louisville this season. And this was the first touchdown on a drive to start a half allowed by Louisville this season. 7-all here in Louisville, Kentucky on your Friday night. Staff does a great job. Wesley Pickle leads the way. Caleb's dad and Duke traveling to the airport, boarding the flight. All part of the backstage pass. Little access behind the scenes that we're giving you this week as the Blue Devils make their first ever trip to Louisville, Kentucky for football, and just their third ever trip to the state of Kentucky. They played Kentucky twice back in the 1930s. And tonight, Bobby Petrino and the Cardinals host Duke for the first time in the second ever meeting between the two schools.
It's like moving a military group.
It is, man.
Equipment managers are superstars.
Unsung heroes. Malik Williams from inside the 5-yard line will get stacked up right at the 20. And both quarterbacks off to a nice start. Obviously, we came in expecting to talk about the Heisman candidate, and we should and we will. But Daniel Jones engineered an equally impressive drive to start it off tonight.
Well, and it's very important to get a young quarterback some confidence early on the road. And he came out and looked like he had been playing for 5 years instead of just tonight. So very important for him. We knew Lamar was going to play well. We weren't sure about Daniel Jones. Both of them off to a great start.
So on first down, Lamar Jackson has Reggie Bonifant in the backfield, and he gets stuffed after a short gain by Alonzo Saxton. And, Coach, that's something I want to point out right now. Lamar Jackson's a really good runner when the play is designed for him. He averages over 8 yards a carry on designed runs alone. So if he's going to run like that, you've got to stack him up after 2 or 3. You can't let him go 5, 6, 7.
No, you really do. You got to get him before he gets started, and they've got Brandon Ratcliffe back there to hand it to, so he's very dangerous as well.
Run blitz here from Duke, and a toss play to the outside for Ratcliffe. That's a great play call against that run blitz, and he works his way out near the 35.
Well, we've got 2 of the best play callers in college football
Yeah,
tonight.
we really do.
They come with the inside blitz, and Bobby Petrino told us yesterday that Lamar Jackson is doing a much better job of getting them in the right play, and I think that was an example there.
12 yards for Brandon Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe has been excellent, over 500 yards on the ground this year. He's the pitch man in the option, and in open space, he's able to survive the first hit, but Ben Humphreys closes him out after Corbin McCarthy made that initial hit on him. It's a loss of 1.
This is very good defense against the option by Duke. They wanted to get it out of Lamar Jackson's hands quickly. There's penetration by McCarthy. He hits him in the backfield. Got to wrap up. You can't miss the tackles, but Humphreys is right there for the stop. Very good defense by the Duke Blue Devils.
Lost Jeremy Cash, their excellent strike safety to the NFL. They don't have Devon Edwards, their excellent safety, as he got hurt against Notre Dame, tore his ACL and MCL on a kick return. Blitz off the edge, and Lamar Jackson with a quick release, no pun intended, to James Quick across the 40. And that'll set up 3rd down and short.
The thing that's so hard to stop about this guy, you got to worry about the option. You got to worry about the dive. He can get on the corner and throw it. He can throw it out to a guy like Quick, who's so fast and can beat you if you miss a tackle for a touchdown. Louisville's just got so many weapons. They're so hard to stop, and every time somebody touches the ball, they have a chance to score.
Don't see this too often. Jumbo set, power package, play action. Jackson had the ball behind his back and was waiting, and he had an open man in Keith Tobridge. Oh, that was as beautiful of a fake as you could ask for, and Jackson had the ball behind his back waiting, and just too tall.
Well, and redshirt senior A.J. Wolf read it, watched it, and he was back there. So you see Jackson with a really good fake. Again, trying to go for all of it on a 3rd down situation. He's hiding it, but Wolf finds it out and comes back, knocks him down, and just forces him to throw the ball just high enough that they can't complete the play. Good shot by Bobby Petrino, though, on 3rd and 2, going for it all.
Duke bringing pressure on a Mason King punt. And he lets off a good one with good hang time, forcing the Ryan Smith fair catch. 36 yards, and it will be Duke football on the other side with a chance to take the lead in Louisville.
Ohio State, Wisconsin, tomorrow at 8 Eastern on ABC.
Done a great job early in the game with explosive plays. They start out with a screen outside with Davis and Stone pulling out on the screen. They get up under man-to-man coverage. They let the 2 blitzers go, get a huge play on 3rd down and 8 for a 1st down. And then they come back because they got Josh Harvey Clemens in the box. They fake it off tackle because they're running the ball. Jones gets outside of the pocket, and he hits the tight end Snyder for the touchdown. 2 really good play calls for Duke.
David Cutcliffe, one of the great offensive minds in the country, has this team tied at 7, and has a design quarterback run for Daniel Jones on 1st down. We'll pick up a couple running into Chris Williams. Redshirt freshman Daniel Jones Only 15 passes last week, but remember, it was Hurricane Matthew. It was a downpour, and Duke's defense played exceptionally well, held Army well under its rushing average, and the offense got just enough done with a couple of plays to win 13-6 in Durham last week to get back to 3-3. Looking for their first ACC win this year after losses to Wake Forest and Virginia. On 2nd and 8, this is Joseph Ajibi, and he'll take it to the 26. So we have not seen Jaleh Duncan just yet, dealing with a knee injury last week against Army. So Ajibi will get some carries tonight as well, along with Sean Wilson.
And the Duke coaches are trying to keep the 8 in the box. They want to keep those safeties up and close and keep Clements close, and then they're going to try to go outside on 3rd down.
Are they okay with giving up a couple big plays if it means they're going to stop the run consistently?
Absolutely, okay. Because they don't think Duke's going to beat them with big plays. They don't want them keeping the ball. Third down 6, be an interesting play call.
Rushing 4. They wanted that tunnel screen again for Ramming, but he lost his footing. Could not snare it cleanly, and it brings up 4th down. Looked like they were setting up a similar play.
Yes, they didn't bring the blitz. Louisville is, they pattern read, and they look like they're in man coverage some, but they drop back in zone. But that time they showed a man look, backed out, had zone. They were more prepared for the tunnel screen, but obviously it wasn't an issue. Duke's coaches know they can't block the rush from Louisville. They've got to do the quick screens. Right. They've got to do the quicks. They're not going to be in good shape on 3rd and 6 and 7. They need to stay ahead of the chains.
Austin Parker will kick to Jair Alexander, who had a punt return touchdown against Florida State this year. And Parker with a booming kick, sending Alexander back to the 20. Punt to 54. And Alexander's forward progress looked like it got to the 30-yard line where Corbin McCarthy stopped him. So, hey, Big Ten's looking good right now. 4 teams in season are in the AP Top 10 for the first time since 1960. We'll feature 2 of them from Camp Randall and Madison. Ohio State's first big, true tough test, it feels like, this year. Number 2 against number 8. I know they blew away Oklahoma this year, but another tough road test Saturday night on ABC at 8 Eastern.
It's a really tough road test. I think in the end, Ohio State will have too much speed. But this is going to be a game we all need to tune in and watch.
J.T. Barrett closing in on Braxton Miller's touchdown record, as Lamar Jackson had nothing downfield, so he'll take it downfield, slip a tackle, and get the first down. Joe Giles Harris, one of those very important linebackers, could not snatch him. And that's going to have to change for Duke if they want to contain Lamar.
It is, but you're going to miss some tackles. You've got to try to keep him in the pocket. They had a 4-man rush. He saw an opening, and he's going to be faster than Giles in open field. He is hard to tackle.
Ran a 4.42 in the springtime. Another 4-man rush. And Jackson launches downfield, and it is caught! Seth Dawkins, the freshman, making the big play. 53 yards, 1st and goal.
He can beat you in so many ways. He has pressure again. He leads to the right, and he just throws the ball on the mark. And Seth Dawkins catches the ball against Byron Fields.
Jackson keeps, and Jackson hit hard by Giles Harris. He wasn't going to miss him that time. And it ends up being a gain of about 2 yards.
Another good job of Duke's defense playing the option. They want to make Lamar Jackson pitch the ball. One of the weird things when we coached Vince Young and Colt McCoy at them at Texas, one of the best things that happened with us is with a 4-man rush and people dropping in coverage. Quarterback can take it and run it any time, and that's when they're most dangerous.
The run comes when you're not expecting the run to come.
And you're spread out all over the field.
Jackson being chased, and Jackson run down. Corbin McCarthy was there. Ben Humphreys was in the backfield off the backside, so a couple of good stops by Duke there.
Once again, Duke's playing with leverage on their defense, trying to keep Lamar Jackson from turning up, trying to make him run sideways and make him either pitch the ball or flatten him out. When he goes north and south, he is deadly. Good play by McCarthy.
Yep. And he's had a couple of big tackles here.
That
they don't have to run a play.
Of the first quarter. timeout.
And again, as sometimes it happens when you come off a bye week, just a little slow. Duke looks very sharp. So does Louisville. And they're on the doorstep right now. But I think a lot of people might have flipped over thinking, well, let's see what happens in the first 15. It might be a blowout. Not the case so far. Duke is hanging right in there with the 7th-ranked team in the country, with the Cardinals on the doorstep. Bobby Petrino said earlier in the week, we understand we have zero room for error when it comes to the college football playoff now. That tough, heart-wrenching playoff caliber loss to Clemson 2 weeks ago, then the bye week, and now Louisville tied with Duke as we start the second quarter on this Friday night. It's a big night for Louisville.
And the Houston's loss didn't help them either.
Absolutely.
It's a tough game at the end of the year.
Yeah, those two play in mid-November.
Trips to the field.
Jackson under pressure, throws off the back foot, and it's shy of the goal line, dropping in front of Travion Samuel. Boy, Jackson just kept backpedaling, and he couldn't get much on that. It was at the foot of Samuel.
Well, and he had pressure again. Duke's doing a good job. They're one of the better teams in the country at tackles for a loss and pressure. And they've got a package where he's leaning so far back, he's got his guy wide open and just can't set his feet and get to him. You can see that Duke's a much improved defense from last year.
Only 9 times this year have the Cardinals gotten into the red zone and not scored a touchdown. So Evan O'Hara back to the kicking duties this week. He's won the job back in practice, and he was taking the first team reps. On the chip shot from 22, he puts it in. The whistle sounds. And Louisville's got the 10-7 lead.
I think both teams have to be happy with their start. I'm sure that the Louisville defense is a little bit more frustrated because they've given up some big plays, and that's something that they didn't want to do. They wanted to stop the run. They wanted to hit the quarterback. But David Cutcliffe, you got to give him credit. He's got his team ready to play. They're focused. They're confident. They're moving the ball. I talked to Archie Manning today, Adam, and said, tell me about David Cutcliffe. And he is a guy that I knew on the AFC Board of Directors, so he's into college football. But Archie said he's one great human being. He's the biggest contributor to preparing my boys as quarterbacks for big-time football. And that's a great compliment from the Mannings. And this young man is being coached by one of the best quarterback gurus in the country.
Coach Peyton Manning, coached Heath Schuler. And, of course, earlier this week, he actually compared Lamar Jackson to Heath Schuler, which is a very high compliment.
And Charlie Ward.
And Charlie Ward comparison pretty good, too. You want to talk about an athlete who skipped the NFL to go play in the NBA.
Yeah, I would say I coached against Charlie Ward, but I think I watched him play more than coached against him. And he was one of the first with Coach Bowden that started this no-huddle high-speed tempo offenses.
Sean Wilson on the return with no Devon Edwards. He has 6 career kick return touchdowns. Wilson a very good one in his own right across the 25. So we're going to show you some games in a second. The reason you need to have the Watch ESPN app and the ESPN app is because you got way too many games to watch starting off your Saturday tomorrow, including the top 10 matchup on ABC tomorrow night. It's all part of our weekend menu brought to you by Panera Bread. Clemson, a team that we saw last week go to 6-0, trying to extend their home win streak. Alabama, Tennessee, it's the 3rd Saturday in October. Ole Miss, Arkansas, obviously the thriller last year that went to OT, and then Ohio State, Wisconsin. First time that we see Jalay Duncan in the game for Duke in the backfield next to Jones. And he'll get the carry. And a good first down run for Jalay Duncan as he takes it to the 34-yard line. What sticks out on Saturday to you, Coach?
I think there's 2 of them. I want to see if Tennessee can hang in there with Alabama because it's been tough for Alabama to beat top-ranked Tennessee teams when they're in Knoxville. And I also want to see that one tomorrow night. That's 2 great football teams with Wisconsin and Ohio State. And I noticed today the Big Ten has 4 teams that are nationally in the top 10 in ESPN's recruiting. So the Big Ten is making a splash right now across the country. Be a great game with those 2.
Urban Meyer, Jim Harbaugh have a big punch in that to get the recruiting class numbers up. Ohio State and Alabama are kind of neck and neck for the top recruiting class in the country right now. On 2nd down, and back to Duncan. And it looks like they're going to mark him at the sticks, depending on which line judge makes the final call. The line to gain was the 37.
An interesting point sometime, Adam, is if you miss some practice because you've got something sore, sometimes you'll be more fresh than the other guys, and Duncan looks really fresh as a runner coming into this ball game. He is a captain. He's a leader. He's a guy they need. Some substitution problems there, and Coach Cutcliffe having a little conversation with an assistant. Didn't look like he was asking him about family and Thanksgiving.
Really, in the second quarter, right now, they won. They're a buttoned-up coaching staff, though, for the most part in Duke. Under pressure, and Jones released underneath, looking for Daniel Helm. Good coverage that time by the Louisville defense. They've got Chucky Williams playing safety, stepping up, the redshirt junior out of Florida, who had a pick against Clemson.
They've got those safeties up there close, and they're standing by what they told us. They do not want Duke to run the football.
No, not at all.
They're going to make Daniel Jones make some plays outside with his feet and with his arm to win this football game.
On second down, nothing there for Sean Wilson. Wrapped up very quickly by Drew Bailey, junior out of Orlando, their junior college transfer, part of an excellent defense.
And
Todd Grantham's defense looking sharp on this drive.
Yeah, and Duke fans would say, why run it on second down and 9? Well, you can't block them. They're too athletic up front, so now on third down, he's got to come with a screen, a draw, a quick, a double move. He's got to come with something where he doesn't have to try to block this really tough and strong Louisville front very long. And he's spreading them out.
Yep.
Quick. Screen, draw.
It is a screen underneath, looking for Chris Taylor, and nothing there again. Excellent coverage by Stacy Thomas. Stopped him after a loss of 2.
Yeah, Stacy Thomas is a linebacker that can play kind of nickel too. He's a really good player in space. They had a little game up front with the movement with the defensive line. Really good play by Stacy Thomas in space. They smelled the screen out that time. They knew on third down. They went to it last time. Really good call by Todd Grantham. We've been bragging on offensive coach. That was a great call by the defense.
Well, we've seen it, 3 times a screen on third down for Duke on their 4 third down plays so far.
And Duke has no room for error in this game.
No, not at all. Austin Parker kicks away, and Jair Alexander will wave it out. He's got no choice but to let it bounce, and it'll die near the 11-yard line. Second meeting all time. The only other meeting, 2002. It was all Louisville that night. Right now, a 3-point lead. Louisville thus far has ran 20 offensive plays, and almost all of them have involved Lamar Jackson, 16 of them to be exact. 9 passes and the rest runs. Not much of an inclusion so far of Radcliffe just yet, but he's been sharp. Does have a touchdown pass thus far in this game.
Yeah, he's quick as a puff of smoke. They can't tackle him in space, and he's really accurate. So every time the guy touches the ball, he has a chance to score.
Already 33 yards on the ground as well. And they go to Brandon Radcliffe for the 5th time. And he'll work his way out to the 18-yard line. Ben Humphries is going to be really important to this defense, though, for Duke, Molly.
That's right. Adam Humphries has been preaching to his defense all week that they can't be intimidated by Lamar Jackson. He said he wakes up, puts on his shoes, ties his laces just like everyone else. He's the same age as me. We cannot fear him. In football, if you have any fear, you won't play to the best of your ability. And you can see that their defense is playing fearless tonight, Adam.
Jackson to throw on second down, and to the sideline for Bonifant. He's got the first down across the 25-yard line in front of Brian Fields.
I don't want to question Ben, but I will say he probably puts his shoes on faster than everybody else because he does everything else, and he could get up and run without them. But Ben blitzed that time and hit him. He got the ball out of his hands very quickly. First down.
Ben Humphries was a captain at Mater Dei. Great high school football program as a junior. Only other guy to do that was Matt Barkley. Launching downfield, Lamar Jackson, and it's off the fingertips of Staples. Just got a little separation at the end against Fields, who stuck with him down the sideline, but it's incomplete.
It's a really good throw. And he kept space outside. He kept some grass outside. But Jamari Staples is one of the better football players on this football team. But good job as you start looking at Brian Fields. Good coverage. That's what they've got to do. If they're going to put enough in the box to stop Lamar Jackson, they got to cover one-on-one. Looks like they're coming again.
Yep, Duke just showed off its pressure package there.
And that's the reason Lamar acted like he was going to have a play and went to the sideline.
So now he checks, and he keeps, and he lunges to the 30. for a couple. So this is what Duke wants. Third down long, third down medium, and long situations.
And they do not want Lamar Jackson beating them with his feet. They also want to stop him in the running game and make him throw the ball to win. Good play by McDonald.
And Dominic McDonald returned against Army after missing a couple of games with a shoulder injury. Jackson, nothing downfield, so he whips it for Quick underneath, and a lot of heat on that ball at the 30. Quick could not corral it, and he was a little slow to get up after the play.
Duke did a good job in zone defense. They dropped back. They wanted to keep it underneath, and they made sure that there was nowhere to throw it. He had to throw it short. He threw it to Quick, hoping he could get a first down out of it, and just nothing there. Good tackling in space by Duke as well.
Remember, this is a team that gave up 38 points to Notre Dame, or 35 points rather, to Notre Dame in Duke's defense. They've had some leaky games this year, coming off a really good one against Army. And so far, performing very admirably against Lamar Jackson. One of the greatest names that ever came out of the city of Louisville, Kentucky, Muhammad Ali.
Any $5 box at Taco Bell and you could win PlayStation VR.
We lost one of the icons in sports in early June, Muhammad Ali. I'll tell you a quick story. My dad's a Pakistani immigrant, shares a name with Muhammad Ali, came to the States. First person he saw on American television as an athlete was Muhammad Ali. Said he's the greatest athlete I've ever seen. That carried a lot of weight with me when I was younger. So one of the greatest of all time. Lost him in early June. Louisville born and bred. Duke starts this drive with 10 to play in the half from the 33-yard line, and Sean Wilson maybe gets a yard on the play. Molly McGrath is down on the sidelines, and Duke is missing a very key cog up front right now.
That's right. You're talking about that battle up front. Well, left tackle Gabe Brandner back in the locker room getting an injured hip look at. He's back on the sideline, and Duke says he's likely to return, but he's been practicing his blocking, and you can tell he's in a lot of pain, and he's visibly very frustrated, Adam.
And Sterling Corona, the junior out of San Antonio, will take over at left tackle against this stout front of Louisville. And you see they're closer to David Cutcliffe. They're on the boundary side towards the Duke bench, so they'll check with David. Wilson kind of power forward, and you see the strength on the perimeter of those safeties, and Josh Harvey Clemens specifically, a 230-pounder, was able to stop the drive after 5 yards. And there is Gabe Brandner, a veteran of 20 starts, on the sidelines right now, as Molly told you.
Josh Harvey Clemens, 5-star transfer from the University of Georgia. One of the most versatile athletes in college football. He's one that's really fun to watch, folks. So watch number 25 tonight. They get him up inside for the running game, but he's fast enough to drop out and cover in space.
Big third down and 4. Moving the launch point, Jones, and a tumbling effort for a catch by Ramming, and he's got the first down a yard past the sticks at the 44. Another underneath route that Duke is able to exploit.
Another good third down call by the Duke offensive staff. They're going to move the quarterback because they're struggling some in the offensive line. Great block by the back on the corner. And they throw a quick one in the flat to Ramming, but it's enough for the first down. Don't put your offensive lineman in a position where they can't block and get your quarterback hit. Really smart moving the quarterback.
I wonder how much more we'll see of that with Brandner out and Corona up front now.
I think a lot. Plus, David wants to stay on the field offensively with Duke.
On first down, Duncan. Into that pile for maybe a half a yard.
You can see we've got a chess match here. He's running Duncan right up inside.
Yep.
He's saying, okay, Todd Grantham, you keep those outside linebackers, those safeties near the ball, and then we'll throw some things outside. We're not going to let you spread out and cover everybody. You've got to respect the run. Todd Grantham's been around a long time, pro guy. He said, we're going to stop the run because I know they're going to run the ball to try to win. And every play Lamar Jackson's on the sideline, it's a win for Duke's defense.
Second and 9. Duncan again. Off the left side this time. And he picks up 3 yards, and that'll set up 3rd down and an important 6 on this play for Duke. Team that comes in at 3-3. Remember last year that bowl win in overtime against Indiana, their first bowl win since the 1960s. It's a program that has really impressed these last 5 years and become a viable threat. Although having a rough start to this season, a viable threat in the ACC.
Well, you lose your starting quarterback. You put a redshirt freshman in. He's lost a lot of guys. This game's coming down right now. Can Louisville stop him on 3rd down?
Throwback. Underneath, they go to Anthony Nash. Another excellent 3rd down play call by the Duke staff. They go underneath with another screen, and they pick up 11 to move the chains.
They have been so innovative. This is a really good block on Corona out to the left, but they sprint to the right because he sprinted on a 3rd down last time. Throws it back to Nash. Easy 1st down. What a call.
Zach Roper and David Cutcliffe are in sync right now. And at the Louisville 41-yard line, it's 1st down and 10.
They love Nash. Big 6'5" receiver that can run. Catches it in the crowd. He knew where those sticks were for the 1st down.
Penalty markers thrown. Looks like maybe a little bit
False
of movement.
Start. Offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's the first flag of the game. And you talked about excellent coaches. Riley Johnson didn't talk to us for the first 25 minutes of this game.
Excellent coaches, but also disciplined teams that are focused and ready to play tonight. This is a compliment to show the respect for these two teams for each other.
And that does put Duke behind the chains at 1st and 15.
People thought Duke would just come in here and get killed and blown away. Very seldom does that happen, especially if they protect the ball.
And they've been good when they haven't turned the ball over. So far, so good. The team with the 2nd highest turnover mark in the country this year. Jalea Duncan gets that penalty yardage back, and it'll set up 2nd down and 10. Well, as we mentioned, the Big Ten's been really good this year, but the ACC's been really good too. They've got 5 in the top 25. They've got a couple in the top 10, including the team you're watching now and the team you're going to see tomorrow at noon. We saw Deshaun Watson rip it up last week, and he and Lamar Jackson are having quite a battle at the top of the Heisman voting right now in the polling.
Dave Doran has really got NC State playing well. They beat Notre Dame last week. They're 4-1 going to Death Valley. Clemson's got to get ready to play.
Doesn't it feel like they're always 4-1? They're just trying to get over that hump. And man, would that be an impressive win on the road at Clemson. Wilson to the edge. Great penetration by Drew Bailey. He's made a nice impact early on in this game for Louisville. A loss of 4, and it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, Drew's quick. He can penetrate. He came from Pearl River Junior College. You cannot run the option with penetration. That's the best way to stop it. And now you've got Duke in a really tough situation. Duke's offense has come up with creative plays on 3rd down. Let's see what they try to do on 3rd down and 14. Makes it tougher. I still think they probably take something underneath, try to get to the chains, and then punt if they don't make it.
Good block in the backfield by Wilson to give Jones a chance to throw. He was looking for Anthony Nash down the sideline. There was a lot of contact there behind the play.
Roughing the passer, number 55. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
And Keith Kelsey just gave a free 1st down to the Duke Blue Devils on 3rd and long.
Well, Keith's a grinder. He's a tough young man. That's a mistake you can't make in that situation. Captain. And Duke makes another 3rd down because of the penalty.
Yep. They were 4 of 6 on 3rd down. And their 5th conversion comes via that penalty against the senior out of Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah, and fans are going to boo. You can't touch the quarterbacks anymore. You can't touch them low. You can't touch them high. I used to say if you run by them and yell, they may give a 15-yard penalty at them. So stay away from the quarterback. Keith knows better than that.
So they'll set up at the 30-yard line and throw the quick screen for Ramming. And TJ Ramming got hit by the feet. A great job by Kelsey, who was running with some purpose, I think, that time to chop him down. Still a 9-yard gain.
They throw the quick screen right into the blitz from the field again. So they're working against the weakness right now, the concerns of that Louisville defense. Perfect play call once again. 10th play of this drive.
Duke has kept the ball, and as you said, the longer Lamar Jackson sits on the sideline, the better. And Keith Kelsey in this Louisville defense trying to get off the field. Second down and short. And it's lost on the ground. Sean Wilson trying to recover it, and it looked like he was able to reach those arms out and snare it. That could have been disastrous for a team that has suffered too many turnovers this year.
Yeah, you can't mishandle the ball. It's too hard. In zone read situations, either you give it to him, Daniel Jones, or you pull it. Don't leave it where you're unsure. And that time they weren't really sure. And that's just a young quarterback not being aggressive enough with handling the option.
Here we go. 3rd down and 2 and a big one.
Huge 3rd down. Duke's got a freshman kicker. Might take 2 downs here to go for 4th.
We'll keep it on the ground. Wilson, nothing there. James Hearns, the initial penetration, their leading sack man. It'll stay at 4th down and short.
Louisville, first charge.
Louisville's going to take a timeout. 11-12 plays, so they get a chance to let them rest here because they know this is a huge play.
They might go for it on 4th down. We'll see on the other side.
It isn't always easy to know where you.
We know how crazy these games have been. Arkansas, Ole Miss the last couple of years. The incredible 4th and 25 conversion by the Razorbacks last year. We'll have Ole Miss and Arkansas from Fayetteville tomorrow night. ESPN 7 Eastern. Also live on ESPN app and watch ESPN. The offense is out there in the rain that has begun to fall in Louisville, Kentucky. 4th down and short for Duke.
He's either going to try to pull them off here, or he's going to change the play. I think on the road, I'm David Cutcliffe. I go for it. Looks like he's going to try to draw him off and punt.
And a play clock down inside of 5. Nothing doing from Louisville. They did not bite.
Timeout, Duke. First charge of this half.
So perhaps a long field goal or maybe a short punt. 4th down coming up. A.J. Reed's a true freshman. He's made his last 3 field goals after missing his first 3. This would be a career-long 39-yarder, but perhaps a time to fake?
Adam, it's a great time to fake. You've already acted like you're going to go for it. You got a freshman kicker in the rain. If I'm the defense at Louisville, I'm looking for the fake.
Officially a career-long 40-yarder in the rain from the freshman to try to tie the game. And A.J. Reed missing wide to the right. And still plenty of time for Louisville at the end of this half.
Really good stop for the Louisville defense. They stop them on 3rd and 2. They don't jump off sides on 4th and 2. And on this field goal, they get a lot of penetration. And the young guy just shoves it out to the right.
I mean, that was a pretty decent kick in terms of distance. He would have had enough if it had straightened it out a little bit. The freshman from Prattville, Alabama, top 20 kicker out of high school, trying to navigate the conditions, which these Duke Blue Devils are used to after what they saw last week in Durham, North Carolina. But the missed field goal gives Louisville the football up by 3. Jackson off his back foot, underthrown for Bonifon. And it brings up 2nd down. Duke bringing pressure again. A.J. Wolf got into the face of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, A.J. Wolf's a 5-year senior. He comes up inside for pressure. He leads the team in sacks with 5 sacks. He's a bright young guy, and their business school is going to be on Wall Street one day.
Great pedigree for A.J. Wolf, too. Dad was an Olympian. Underneath, Cole Hicatini slipping a tackle and got hit in the open field by McCarthy, who's had a good first half. Stops him near the 30-yard line. Approaching 2 minutes to play. Louisville has 2 timeouts with which to work. And this is a big 3rd down here if Duke can maybe get the ball back, force a punt.
Yeah, Louisville's got to be careful that they don't want to be punting in the rain to Duke. So it could backfire that they took the timeout on the 3rd down.
They left a little time on the clock. Jackson. Is he going to run for the first down? He will. And he'll slip a tackle and then some. They won't have to use a timeout as he runs out of bounds near midfield. Lamar Jackson, slippery for 17.
And it was best against best. Lamar Jackson and Ben Humphreys in space together. Ben tries to reach out the arm to get him, but Lamar not only breaks the tackle, but makes another 10-15 yards before he steps out of bounds and stops the clock.
He's ran for 52 yards already. A blitz from Duke. Jackson stands in and throws way wide. He was looking for Staples, who was going inside. The throw a little bit further outside. And it's second down with 90 ticks left. And I wonder how this rain is going to affect Lamar a little bit, too, passing the football.
Absolutely, and that was tremendous pressure again by Duke's front. Marquise Price, young sophomore at 6'6", got back there and hit him, and he didn't have enough time to hang on to the ball.
Remember, Duke has 20 sacks this year. That's third in the ACC behind Clemson and Pitt, two really good pressure teams. Just a four-man rush, trying to get to Jackson, and they will this time. Excellent pressure by Ben Humphries as he brings him down at the line of scrimmage.
Timeout, Louisville, second charge of this half.
84 seconds left, timeout Louisville.
I've got some friends I want to introduce.
I'm Adnan Burke. Coming up on the Lexus Halftime Report. Put your Dukes up. So for the Blue Devils are hanging tough. We'll break down what they're doing well. Also, Urban's Road Warriors, why the Buckeyes play so well away from home as they're taking on the Badgers. And also, defense to offense. No one does it better than Alabama. Joey Galloway will break it down. We'll see you at the half, Adam Amin.
No Danny Cannell because he's too busy hanging out in Madison for game day. He was on the radio with Russillo today out in Madtown, and, man, that's going to be a fun one tomorrow night. On third down and long, Louisville empties it out. And Lamar Jackson for Staples, broken up at the last moment by Mark Gilbert, a true freshman out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, breaking that one up. Huge play.
Yes, the Duke coaches are so excited about Gilbert. Excellent protection here by Louisville. The throws the least bit behind him. Staples tries to turn back and catch it. We got to remember, too, it's in a rain right now. So very good stop by Duke.
I mean, if it's not raining, I wonder if that pass is just in the right spot from Lamar Jackson. Boy, Duke looks like they're rushing, and they're bringing some heat on the punt from Mason King. Stepping up is Ryan Smith from the 20-yard line. Trying to beat the coverage unit to the perimeter, and he'll run out of bounds shy of the 30. Well, we talked about Louisville and that epic game they had against Clemson. You'll see Clemson in action again. ABC college football Saturday night prime time, or Saturday ABC football at noon Eastern, beg your pardon. Clemson number 3, 6-0. Done it against unranked teams for a long time, 44 straight. They've won 19 straight in Death Valley. Wolfpack haven't won in Clemson in what? 14 years. I think Phillip Rivers was the quarterback back in 02 when NC State won on the road. So an important game for Clemson en route to try to stay undefeated en route to the ACC title game now.
Clemson's won so many games, and we live this at Texas in that world where everybody expects you to win every week. NC State coming in with no pressure on them whatsoever, and that's just the world that Clemson lives in now. So they got to be ready to play every week and play hard. Now, Duke gets the ball to start the second half. I don't think we'll see them take chances here.
Now they'll run it with Duncan. Louisville only has one timeout left. The rain is starting to slow down back towards a drizzle again. And we duck inside of a minute. Duke's going to be in no hurry. And this has to be a win. If you go down 3, remember, Duke's a near 5 touchdown underdog in this game. You go into the locker room on the road in a tough environment, down by 3 after 30 minutes, that's got to feel like a win. Am I right?
And they're milking the ball. 7-8 minute drive, the last drive. They're doing exactly what David Cutcliffe wants to do. And he'll let this clock run down. He goes in down by 3 at halftime, gets the ball to start the second half. He'll be pumped.
Want to hold on to that football. And Jalea Duncan nearly got loose. The tackle in space by Kelsey. Louisville does not look like they're going to use a timeout, and Duke doesn't look like they're in a hurry, and that's pretty much going to take us to the half.
And, Adam, we talked about the pressure on Clemson. Very similar pressure on Louisville tonight. Now, every time somebody sees Louisville play, they got to blow everybody out if they're going to be in the playoff. So it puts a lot of pressure on them tonight against Duke. Duke has absolutely no pressure.
80-yard touchdown drive to start for Lamar Jackson of the Cardinals. Just 3 points, the rest of the way. Our Lexus halftime report, my guys Adnan Burke and Joey Galloway. Bringing the new bangers on Friday night. Dream by One Republic as the Louisville Cardinals and Duke Blue Devils play here on the ACC on ESPN. Front end of our Friday night doubleheader, and we've got a game through 30 minutes so far. Duke's dream is to get a top 10 win on the road for the first time since 1971. They'll get the ball to start half number 2 as we welcome you into the broadcast booth. Adam Amin, Mac Brown, Molly McGrath in a moment as well. When you play Louisville, your best weapon is to keep Lamar Jackson on the sideline. Duke did that specifically on third down in the first half. They did. You start looking at the magic play calls that David Cutcliffe and Jake Roper had. Those guys kept Louisville off balance with their blitzes and their penetration. You sprint to the right, gets him out of the pocket a little bit. He hits Snyder in the flat because he's outside the strong safety, and then he comes back, sprints to the right again on third down, comes back to Nash. Nash turns it up, knows where the sticks are, and makes the first down. I thought that David Cutcliffe did as good a job with play selection in the first half as anybody I've seen all year. Now remember that Louisville started this game with an 80-yard touchdown drive. Duke answered with a touchdown drive of their own, but ever since that opening drive for Louisville, they weren't able to get much offense going in terms of points. Just 3 more points the rest of the way, and 19 minutes of possession for Duke, which will get the ball to start half number 2. 19 minutes for Duke as compared to 10:58 for Louisville, and only 2 more plays. So the Duke offense is really slowing this game down and trying to keep Lamar Jackson on the bench, and so far their game plan's working. This first series for the Louisville defense will be key to try to get a 3-and-out, get a short field, and let Louisville's offense get back on track. Louisville cannot play this way if they want to make the college football playoff. Their outside shot still exists, but they need to dominate, and Duke, through 30 minutes, performed very well. And Sean Wilson with an excellent return out across the 35-yard line. We talked about third down. Molly McGrath talked to David Cutcliffe about it as well.
That's right, David Cutcliffe, very proud of how his quarterback Daniel Jones has performed in this first half. He said he's played on the road. The guy's played in a hurricane. Playing against Louisville is nothing to him, and that's because of his preparation during the week. He was very focused this week during practice, and it's showing on the field. He is not playing like a freshman. And one good thing for Duke, their left tackle, Gabe Brandner, is expected back in the second half, guys.
Great stuff, Mal. And it is Brandner to start this second half at left tackle. And Jones will swing it out wide. Great coverage on Jonathan Lloyd out on the perimeter. That was Chucky Williams again. The safety read it well. So the best starting field position for Duke in this game gets negated by 4 yards. Good adjustment by Todd Grantham at halftime. He's got Josh Harvey Clemens blitzing to get the ball out of his hand quickly, and Chucky Williams right in the backfield to make the tackle on the quick screen that hurt the Louisville defense so much the first half. What kind of adjustments does Duke need to make offensively after we've seen a lot of screens and quicks in that first half? Do you need to stay with that if you're Duke? I think if you're Duke, you continue to do exactly what you do. Try to get a double move deep in here somewhere to get a deep ball. They need an explosive. Straight up the gut, Sean Wilson, nothing there. This is really good penetration to start the half by Louisville. Remember that they got down at halftime against Clemson pretty good on the road, and they exploded in the second half. Remember, they had 5 takeaways in that game, 3 interceptions of Deshaun Watson. So we have seen Louisville turn it on very quickly before. Louisville has not been able to get Duke off the field on third down, so this is a critical play. You can see that Duke's spreading out with 3 wideouts. They've got an H-back. I think we still see something quick, maybe moving the quarterback. Jones, screen again. This time to Nash, and he gets chased down from behind by Drew Bailey. From the defensive end spot, Bailey snipped it out. Ends up being a gain of just 5, and it'll be 4th down. So Duke with a 3-and-out to start this half. Well, we start talking about adjustments at halftime. Great job by the Louisville defense of tightening up on everybody and making sure that they penetrate, try to get the ball out of the quarterback's hand quickly, but then come from the safety and corner positions. That time, even a defensive end position with Drew Bailey sprinting out to make the tackle. Really good 3-and-out for Louisville. And Daniel Jones being tended to after that big hit in the backfield as well. And that could be a point of concern. Or Nash, I beg your pardon. The receiver that just got hit on the perimeter. Here's Jair Alexander. Oh, look out. Yep, there he goes. I'd say this one's gone. Just a kicker to beat. Jair Alexander with a flag down is going to take it 90 yards. We'll check the penalty marker. But Jair Alexander has done it for a second time. The flag back at the 12 on the far side of the field. A crucial call here from this ACC crew led by Riley
Here's the
Jefferson.
return. Illegal block in the back by the return team. Half the distance to the goal. Louisville ball. First down.
So that negates a 90-yard punt return for a touchdown for Jair Alexander.
It's about 95% against the return team. It's not going to be on the kicking team unless it's hand to the face or grabbing that guy and throw him down.
Right at the start, not a whole lot of contact from Jamari Staples. But Jamari Staples was the one who got tagged with it on that first wave. There have been 2 penalties accepted against Louisville. Both were light touch penalties. The Kelsey hit on the quarterback that extended a drive, and this one here against Jamari Staples. But it was called. It is costly. It negates the 90-yard return, and it sets them up at their own 6.
Number 1, Staples should have pulled off, but number 2, I don't make that call.
Yeah.
Probably had a poor angle. It looked like he hit him more than he did. He barely touched it. What a critical call.
Huge.
To bring it back, and now you got poor field position.
Well, Duke breathes a sigh of relief as for the first time tonight, Jeremy Smith gets the call, and he gets upended by DeAndre Singleton. Obviously, the fans here, and what is another large crowd at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium, still upset about that call. 33-4 are the Louisville Cardinals under Bobby Petrino at home. A Friday night game, their second of the season, first one at home. Underneath, it's Hicatini, grabbed by Humphreys, and that ball may have come out loose. And the Duke Blue Devils, who have been on the wrong end of the turnover margin all season long, have a takeaway with Humphreys.
Boy, what a great play by Humphreys. The throw's in a good place to Nicotini. Nicotini is one of their best football players.
The rolling on the field. The forward progress was stopped. There's no fumble. Second down.
That is a tremendously important call for Louisville there, as they ruled that the forward progress was stopped by Humphreys as he was trying to rip the ball away.
A correction, third down.
Wow.
Again, I didn't hear a whistle, but I wasn't looking for a whistle either. And if the whistle blows, the play's dead. There's no overturning or reviewing a call like that. Once a play is dead like that, you cannot overturn it.
One thing you learn in coaching is they're going to go both ways. Take it, live with it, chew the official out, and hope you get another one that's a little bit closer in a play or two, but go back and play. You can't do anything about them.
So third down and short, and Lamar Jackson keeps the drive alive as Giles Harris runs him out near the 20.
Yeah, Giles Harris has been very impressive as a young linebacker tonight. 46 tackles, second on the team coming into this ball game. Duke has played the option really well. They wanted to make Lamar Jackson flatten out, pitch the ball quickly, or flatten out and run sideways. And these young linebackers and defensive ends are doing just that tonight. He's got a team-high 7 tackles tonight. They don't have Tanashi Bear, who has suffered a season-ending knee injury against Notre Dame. Jackson throwing deep, up for grabs, and incomplete. DeAndre Singleton met the 6'3" freshman Seth Dawkins near the apex, and it'll end up being second down. Really good coverage by Singleton. Here's a guy that's a 4-year starter. They had double coverage over on that side. Really good play by the Duke defense. They seem to be dialing up the right defenses at this point in the ball game to slow this #1 offense in the country down from Louisville. And remember, we had seen some accuracy issues from Jackson with that rain falling late in the first half. Doesn't seem like there's much coming down, if at all. On the ground, it's Jeremy Smith. And his first big run of the day is a huge one. And he slips a tackle. Jeremy Smith, one man to beat, touchdown Louisville.
For the score.
Longest career run, 80 yards.
Linebackers come up inside. You lose gap control. And the big boy, Jeremy Smith, takes it down the boundary, does an outstanding job of staying in bounds. Louisville has so many athletes that can score anytime they touch the ball. What a play by Louisville to extend this lead.
Not just the longest play of Smith's career, but the longest play by Louisville all season. In what has been an explosive offense, that was the most explosive play from scrimmage for the Cardinals this year. Harkening back to the days of when this stadium was near the rail yard, the whistle blows for a Louisville score, and it was a big one. The punt return was negated. Jeremy Smith says, don't worry about it, I got you. A touchdown against Clemson 2 weeks ago. One big one here tonight. Jeremy Smith had a big game against Clemson, over 100 yards of total offense for the junior college transfer out of California. Mike Ramsey, one of the guys that got beat on a trap play that allowed Jeremy Smith to explode for 80 yards and a touchdown.
Duke's defense has been so much about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, eyes on Lamar Jackson, angles in pursuit on Lamar Jackson. Then they run a power play up inside, trap the defensive end, blocked down with big Jerron Christian, and Jeremy Smith takes it the lengths for the touchdown. Again, good adjustments at halftime by the Louisville staff.
Sean Wilson trying to answer with a big return, and he'll make it to about the 20-yard line. He'll set up at the 21. So we're giving you a little bit of backstage access tonight here in Louisville, Kentucky. And earlier today, 4:30 Eastern time, you hear it when they score. It's hard to miss the train whistle, a remnant from the days when the Papa John's Cardinal Stadium property served as a rail yard and a switching station for railroads between Louisville and Nashville. So they get that thing set up about a half hour before everybody starts to file in, and they sound it after the horn. Part of our access backstage pass here tonight from Louisville, Kentucky. 2-yard run for Wilson to start this Duke drive.
Sometimes you can score a little too quickly as well. Louisville came out, it was really easy. And we used to call those imposters, because you're not going to be like that all night. Duke's going to come and play hard, but they're playing with more intensity right now than I feel like they did the first half.
I think we saw a little bit of that on the road a couple of weeks ago against Clemson. And we've seen this team firsthand, and most of the country is starting to get a lot of looks at Louisville, and they know how fast they can score and how strong their defense can be. Again, it's Jaleh Duncan up the middle this time. And good stop by James Hearns, but still pushing that pile towards the 30-yard line. Good effort by Jaleh Duncan, a downhill, crucial running back to what Duke needs to do tonight.
And Louisville's widened their two safeties a little bit so they can have more impact on the quick screens, as well as still trying to fall back in on the running plays and stop the run. Third down was the difference for Duke's offense the first half.
Well, now 3rd down and 1. That was an important run by Duncan to set up 3rd and short. So those wide splits with the receivers forcing the safeties to go outside?
Yes. They're either going quick screen outside or running up inside. I think they go inside or keep it on quarterback zone read.
They'll try it with the screen, and Ramming has the first down. We've seen that play a lot tonight. They went a little misdirection that time on the perimeter, too. Good awareness by Ramming to know where the sticks were.
It really was a good job by him. And you're outside with Tremaine Washington. He's got him come up, tackle him in space. Jermaine got his feet crossed, and it let Ramming have a chance to turn up and make the first down. That's all Duke wants. Duke wants right now to stay on the field. You see how many times the young quarterback is looking to the boundary to get some help from the Duke staff. That's also allowing the clock to run.
7 of 8 on 3rd down is Daniel Jones, David Cutcliffe's redshirt freshman quarterback. Pressure being shown, and Jones runs away from it from the safety spot. He was getting some pressure in his face from Devontae Fields. Jones with a smart play to get rid of the football. When we're done here, Mississippi State against BYU out west in Provo, Utah. Tom Hart, Andre Ware, Cole Kubelik will have the call. And we saw Jamal Williams a couple of weeks ago, 286-yard single game record performance against Toledo. He's got a chance to pass Harvey Unga, who's now a GA on the BYU staff. Got a chance to pass Harvey's all-time rushing record at BYU. You'll see that when we're done.
You would think Harvey might want him to call more passes, and Taysom Hill has really improved over the last couple of weeks. This Brigham Young team lost 3 games by a total of 7 points early. They've turned it around.
Big win against Michigan State on the road last week.
Big win. Coach Sataki's got it going. A little frustration with Coach Petrino there. You can't give them 6 yards on first down in the running game. Todd Grantham said, got to stop the run and put them in long yardage on second and third. Good first down play by Duke.
So again, they set up a manageable 3rd and 4. Moving, ramming to see what the protections look like. Jones stops, takes off, nothing there. Big stop by D'Angelo Brown. The Georgia native stops him after Jones was surveying, couldn't find anything.
Good adjustments at halftime. They needed to pull Jones up because he got outside earlier. But 99 Hearns turns it up inside where D'Angelo Brown can press the pocket and make the tackle inside. Really good adjustments so far by Louisville's defensive staff and players at halftime. Stopped them on another 3rd down. They're lining up to go for it. You figure they're going to try to pull them off.
And it's a new quarterback. It is Parker Babe. He played against Army last week and threw a touchdown pass.
Probably a quick punt.
Quick punt, yep. They did not have their normal punter, Austin Parker, out there, and Parker Babe's done that before in his career. And that will get ducked down inside the 20 at the 15. They were surveying on 4th down, nothing there. Louisville coming off a touchdown has the football when you come back. I promise you no Badgers were harmed in the filming of said promo, but we'll see some very good defensive teams out on the field. Now, are we going to see some offense against those defenses is going to be the question from Madison tomorrow night.
That Badger won't be asleep tomorrow night either.
It's going to be rocking. Lamar Jackson off play action to start this half. Looking downfield, and a beautiful catch by Jamari Staples, reaching out to snare it for 28 yards.
This shows you the progress this young quarterback's made in a year. He looks deep on the post. He comes off of the post and hits Staples on a seam route to the outside. And it's an excellent throw over his outside shoulder. First one's not there. Stand tall, go to your second receiver.
Second catch. Both of them have been big so far. On the perimeter, Radcliffe. Nothing there. Good pursuit by Brian Fields on the perimeter. Ends up being a loss of 3 yards.
Louisville said Duke would play hard, and they're still playing hard.
In a 2-score game now, trying to come up with a stop to stay in this game. And for the most part this year, they've been playing close games. Jackson pulls, sets, and fires. And that one low, looking for Reggie Bonifant. Bonifant was in space. 3rd down and 13 coming up here. I talked with Andrea Adelson of ESPN.com. You'll be able to see and read her article on this game tonight on ESPN.com. And she said, from her ACC covering perspective, this is a game that Louisville needs some style points. You're playing a team that's 3-3. They haven't had an ACC win just yet. And you're at home, off a bye week. This is the type of night that you need to kind of rack it up. And Duke's playing really hard now against Jackson, who stays on his feet. And Lamar Jackson making magic. That's the type of play that this crowd has been looking for tonight, down to the 41.
He made at least 5 people miss in space, and that's what we've been waiting for, too. Drops back. People get out of their lanes a little bit, and they're diving at his feet. McDonald misses. This guy's really a special player.
On 3rd and 13, he picks up 19. And this one to James Quick. Couldn't twist out of the tackle from DeAndre Singleton. But he still picks up a half dozen. Lamar Jackson, just 19 years of age. We discuss him in such high regard because of the performances he's put on this year. But just 19 years old until January. He'll keep this time. And into trouble, Lamar Jackson. No way. Lamar Jackson, incredible. Got away from Terrell Lucas. Somehow kept the play alive, and that's a Heisman-type run for 13.
No doubt. I saw Vince Young at Texas do that many times where I'd say, no. Good.
Yeah, great play. Great play, young man.
It's a way to turn it and turn it up. Young guy's special. Made people miss him. Option left, didn't work right. Starts left, turns back around to the right. You usually say turn up, not him.
So from the 22-yard line, he'll get rid of it for James Quick. And he gets hit hard at the 15 by Brian Fields. It'll pick up about 7.
This drive's been a highlight reel for Lamar. Making play after play.
Yep. And now Fields is hurt. Boy, he is such an important player for Duke, the redshirt junior, and they have to tend to him. And as he was out on the perimeter against Quick.
He missed last year with an ACL. Very steady player, very smart.
Had a pick against Northwestern earlier this year. He, Breon Borders, DeAndre Singleton. They had Jeremy Cash, their star, last year, is now in the NFL. They lost Devon Edwards, an excellent defensive back as well, who's very versatile in this 4-2-5 defense. And Fields was going in hard on James Quick. And you saw the head kind of snap back as he was going in for that hard tackle. So he comes out. Mark Gilbert, who had a big pass breakup earlier in this game, the true freshman out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, will take the spot of Fields.
Duke's substituting a lot, but one of their nightmares would be for Lamar to stay on the field, and that's what's happening on this drive.
2nd down and 3. And a shift from Radcliffe, trying to find space. And working his way out towards the perimeter with the ball loose. Was he ruled down or no? It looks like Duke's going to take over.
Recovered by Duke. First down.
And Alonzo Saxton comes out with the fumble recovery. Radcliffe in the pile. That ball's loose on the hit by Boyce. A huge Duke takeaway late in the 3rd quarter.
NC State, Clemson, tomorrow at noon Eastern.
Brandon Radcliffe, who had been such a workhorse for this Louisville team, had that ball punched out. Boyce with the tackle, popping out. Saxton recovered it. Lamar Jackson comes over, tries to console Brandon Radcliffe, but when Radcliffe gets over to the sideline, Bobby Petrino is waiting for him and saying, you got to hold on to that ball in the red zone. And now Duke takes over, doing everything they can to stay in this game.
He's right. Senior captain, you cannot fumble that ball in that position. Put both hands on it.
So Duke, deep inside its own territory, will run it with Duncan on 1st down for a couple. And this is a crucial next 2 plays for Duke to try to get the first down of this drive, coming off the first turnover of this game on either side.
Yes, Duke's not going to score a lot of points in this game, so that was critical for Louisville to get some points there. Either go 20, go 24, but get a bigger deficit and put more pressure on Duke to have to open it up a little bit more.
Coming off the loss to Clemson and then the bye week. We'll see Clemson 6-0 tomorrow on ABC. Back to the ground in Duncan. He got hit hard by Drew Bailey. Nothing there. It's going to end up being 3rd and long once again. And, I mean, do you stay conservative here and just kind of settle for a 3-and-out, hope to punt it away? You know, Molly told us during a break that the reason that Parker Boehm went out there for that quick kick was because Austin Parker, their normal punter, was getting some x-rays taken. So you may be short a punter and you're deep in your own territory right now.
Well, here you either move the quarterback and try to get a receiver past the chains to make the 9 yards, or you throw a double move deep and hope that you get either a completion or a pass interference penalty. Got to get it out of his hands quickly either way.
So they'll roll the launch point. Jones going deep, and he'll launch it away. Ramming was the man in the area. So it ends up being 4th down. And we just did get word from the Duke staff that neither Austin Parker nor Anthony Nash, remember, took that big hit on a screen pass, are expected to return in this game. So sure enough, they have to go with a new punter, Danny Sturt, who is also the holder on this team. Approaching 2 minutes to play here in the 3rd. So Sturt gets it away, and it's a very short punt. And it will be grabbed by Jair Alexander. There is a penalty marker on the play, but Alexander will take it inside the 40-yard line. Tackled by Sturt, the punter.
Illegal motion, number 33, kicking team. That foul will be added to the end of the run. 1st down.
Great field position coming after that Singleton penalty. Well, last November, Amzie Smith felt pain in her side. She was diagnosed with a rare stage 4 liver cancer. And as the school year started up this year, she was told she may not be able to make it to 17. She wanted to meet Lamar Jackson, a big part of her bucket list. And earlier today, before the game started, Lamar Jackson has a football signed for Amzie Smith. Amzie says that she wants her legacy to be saying good things to her classmates in the hallways. That's what she's been doing just about every day ever since she's been diagnosed with this terrible disease, as Jeremy Smith will run the football. And tomorrow, Molly, is Amzie's 17th birthday, a birthday that a lot of doctors said she wouldn't make it to.
Yeah, that's right, Adam. And this all started because local media saw a video that Amzie made for her church. And she looks up to Lamar because of his ability to stay humble during his breakout season. And she said she was surprised. Lamar knew her name and gave her a big hug right away. He gave her that football, and it said, keep fighting, Adam.
Incredible stuff. She's been named the homecoming princess at Ballard High. She's been to Disney World. Celebrated an early birthday, which is an unfortunate thing to say, with members of Louisville's men's basketball team last week here at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. Got to meet Lamar. She'll ride a blimp, go pumpkin picking, and camp with friends on the 17th birthday tomorrow that a lot of people didn't think she would make. An incredible story. Jackson incomplete on 2nd down. That'll bring up 3rd down.
So many positive things that these young student athletes do in college athletics, and wonderful story. Lamar Jackson's learning how to handle the celebrity that he's become. He's learning how to handle the Heisman hype. He doesn't like it all. He's a very nice, polite young guy. But we had a lot of that at Texas, and he's got to learn to handle all of these things, and that's part of the pressure he plays with every day.
On 3rd and 6 with a penalty marker thrown, a shoestring catch by Quick, and he powers his way inside the 10-yard line. Pushed out by Humphreys. We'll check the marker. On the near side of the field at the 21.
Formation, 5 men in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So a formation penalty against Louisville, and Bobby Petrino is hot.
I was always hot over that one. It means the tackle's a little too deep, or it means somebody's not quite on the line of scrimmage or off. They're supposed to tell you, have him move back a little, coach, move him up a little, coach, but that was always one of the things that I hated. Sometimes that's more on the officials than the kids.
And I'll give credit to Louisville tonight because they've been staying away from flags most of the night, especially in the first half. But they're the 2nd most penalized team in the country, and now the penalties, some crucial ones, are starting to rack up.
Well, and even looking at Keith Kelsey's penalty, it was really close.
So on 3rd down and long, Jackson, end zone, double coverage, and out of bounds. So Duke, with the benefit of that penalty against Louisville on the 3rd down conversion, sees 4th down on defense.
Really good job with double coverage to the outside. You start looking at Singleton and Gilbert. Those two guys had him covered up. Didn't have enough room with Jalen Smith. He didn't keep enough space there. That's what coach is telling him right now. Keep some space. And he had to throw it out of bounds.
Evan O'Hara from 42 yards. And Evan O'Hara cannot connect. Wide to the left, no good. He was good from 22 earlier in this game, reclaiming the kicking duties for this contest, but Louisville unable to get points. Whoa, not by much.
Not by much, and good penetration. Could have called running into the kicker there because it was close, but it wouldn't have given them the first down.
Yeah, would have made it 4th down and 7. Or they would have probably had another shot at it. That being said, Duke takes over at its own 25-yard line. But Louisville right now is doing a lot of things to keep Duke in this game.
But Duke's lost total momentum. They've got to get it back there. They haven't made a first down in 3rd down situations the second half.
It is stagnated, certainly. And up the middle, there goes Wilson running into Kelsey.
And Adam, I guess they made one on the first quick screen. But
sure.
after that, they've had to punt. That's where they had so much success the first half. So Duke's just trying to hang in this game right now, get a break, squirt a run, hit somebody deep. But they're in pretty good shape, 17-7 at the end of the 3rd, going into the 4th.
Again, they have held Duke's offense, which averaged a nation's best 58 points to just 17 through 3 quarters of play tonight. First time that Duke is playing on a Friday night since all the way back in 1930 or 1993, a 10-point Louisville lead through 3.
I'm Jamie Foxx for Verizon. In the nation,
Lamar Jackson entered the week in the Heismanology poll first. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. But it has been an atypical night for Lamar Jackson and an exceptional defensive night for the Duke Blue Devils. Getting set for the 4th quarter here in Louisville, Kentucky on a Friday night. At a 10-point Cardinal lead, Duke's got the football. 2nd down at their own 28-yard line. Crucial snaps on offense coming for the Duke Blue Devils here in this 4th quarter to try to stay in this game. Maybe even bigger for the Louisville defense. First time we've seen Daniel Jones keep it on the zone read, and he gets good yardage to the 33-yard line, 5 yards, and it sets him a manageable 3rd down.
Good read by Daniel Jones. He's tall, he's lanky. He can stretch that fake to the outside and turn it up. He's got a big body.
6'5", 210.
Puts him in 3rd and 2. Critical first down, really, for both teams in a 3rd down situation. Last 2 times for Louisville in the red zone, they haven't scored. They need to get the ball back and get some points. Duke needs to stay on the field.
They'll run it again and try to surge forward with Sean Wilson, and he looks like he's a yard shy of the line to gain. Trying to pound, and that middle just seemingly hasn't been open for the backs of Duke here in the second half.
Here if you're trying to run up inside, that's what you do best. Either that or your quarterback zone read in this situation. Louisville does a very good job of stepping up. Kelsey stopping it. And here, if you're David Cutcliffe, you've got to go far to try to pull the Louisville defense offside because you need to keep the ball.
We got Boehm out there. Parker Boehm, the veteran, getting the push. The 220-pound redshirt junior checks in, and behind Christian Harris gets a lot of push for the first down.
Well, and the rule is changed now that you can push from behind. We go back to the Reggie Bush liner play at Notre Dame, where it wasn't legal at that time. Yes, the Bush push. But now it's legal. Really good play by Duke for the first down. A lot of pounds pushing up in there.
The Duke converts on 4th down. Go right back to Daniel Jones, the redshirt freshman. Looking outside. TJ ramming, trying to get separation. Decent leading throw, but Washington was out on the perimeter. Did a good job of staying with TJ ramming. And it's 2nd down.
If you're Duke, you're trying to hang in the ball game. So you take a deep shot every now and then. Got to keep more space inside. He let Tremaine Washington push him outside so much he ran out of room and didn't give a chance to have the ball thrown to his outside.
And Washington has been getting most of the snaps tonight. Shaq Wiggins did return from that ankle sprain. He missed a lot. Washington getting most of the snaps on the outside. The twin stack formation on second down again. They'll fake the screen, and Jones trying to navigate through the middle of that Louisville defense. Didn't have a whole lot of room there. Good job by Devontae Fields to shed the block and get the tackle.
We're all talking about Louisville's got to win by so many points, so pressure's on Louisville. The more Duke slows the game down and stays in the game, it puts more pressure on Louisville and makes them more anxious. If you're Bobby Petrino, you're just trying to win. You're not worried about playoff tonight. You're worried about being 5-1.
Third down and long.
Probably move the quarterback or go back to screen draw.
Pressure coming from Louisville, forcing Jones out. Daniel Jones down the sideline, and T.J. Ramming was right there on the chalk to hold it down. Just shy of midfield, 12 yards on 3rd and 9.
What a throw by the young freshman quarterback. He's back. He gets pressure. He sprints to the right. Ramming sits right on the border, keeps his feet there. They're inbounds. Big first down for Duke.
What a great job by T.J. Ramming, the sophomore out of Georgia, to stay in bounds 2 feet.
Young quarterbacks growing up.
Well, we heard David Cutcliffe say it to Molly McGrath at the halftime break. He's played on the road against Notre Dame. He's played at Northwestern. He played in a hurricane last week. And now in a hostile environment, trying to keep Louisville on the Duke on the field offensively. Sean Wilson looking for an alley, and this is one of the better runs up the middle for Duke in this second half. 7 yards running into Kennan.
We got to remember, with Thomas Sirk coming back, this young guy was supposed to be holding a clipboard on the sideline right now. So he's really made a lot of progress. Another credit to David for bringing him so far.
He's been such a good quarterback coach in his career. Second down.
Letting the clock run, trying to get a score as we move the clock, kill the clock, get it down to where you got a chance to win really late in the game.
Saw that a lot in the first half as well. And take off 33 seconds of the play clock. Here's Chris Taylor. And Taylor gang tackled, led by Cannon, about a yard shy of the line to gain. So 3rd down and short coming up here for Duke. And does this feel like 4-down territory early in the game? Still 10.5 to go, but is this 4-down territory?
It is. You've got to take some chances. You may go zone read here. You still got your running game here, but you've got to make 6 inches to a yard if you're going to win this football game. So I don't think there's any doubt we're going 4 downs. And we're going to take our time going 4 down. We're not in a hurry. Run, clock, run.
Little run blitz there from Louisville, and Sean Wilson finds the seam. Got past that rushing line and worked his way close to the 35. Chucky Williams on the stop, but Sean Wilson churns out 5.
What a run. Watch Sean get up into the line of scrimmage and then just jump sideways to the right, plant his foot, and go right back north and south for the first down. What a run.
Really good block by Daniel Helm, the tight end, too, to help seal that alley for him.
He knew exactly what he had to make for that first down.
So as we've seen a lot tonight, double-digit play drives from Duke. This is the 11th play of this drive. Inside of 10 to play. Straight through, finding a seam. Sean Wilson, 8 yards. And these are some strong-looking runs by the junior out of Charlotte, West Mecklenburg High School. Freshman All-American a couple of years ago. He's been a big play threat at times in his career. Right now, he is doing a lot of the dirty work for Duke.
And Duncan and Wilson were impact players. They're sure impacting this game.
Very important to what Duke needed to do just to stay in this game. And I know people are thinking, why are you talking so much about Duke? They're losing. Well, think about who you're playing. This is a team in Louisville that's been blowing everybody out just about until a couple of weeks ago. Swinging out wide, space for Ramming. He just needed a couple of yards, and he's about a yard short. Good job by Williams in space. He's been a very good defender tonight for Louisville.
I do think there were some conversations at halftime about how to stop the quick screen.
Sure.
Because Louisville has pretty much shut them down in the second half. Ramey got it. He made the first down earlier in the game. He turns up here. Gang tackling inside out by the Louisville defense. Good job by Chucky Williams.
Tremaine Washington been important on the perimeter too.
You're still 4 downs. You got a freshman quarterback, a freshman kicker. Clock's running down. You need to get it back to a 3-point game.
You have 2 plays to get a yard. And Wilson again, dirty yards on the ground, gets to the 25 and moves the chains.
This is working perfectly for Duke because they want to eat clock and score. 3 third downs and a 4th down that have been converted on this drive.
And a lot of it has to do with the 2 guys that have combined for 29 carries. It's not a ton of yards. And Todd Grantham wanted to stop the run, and he stopped the big plays. But Duke has been able to churn through and keep their offense out of the field on less than 3 yards per rush. Halfway through the 4th, and back to the ground again for Jaleh Duncan. Well, beg your pardon, that is still Wilson, 29, not 25. And Fields helped run him down with Washington on the submarining tackle.
Duke's running backs are having a clinic on how to make 2 to 4 yards and move the chains and stay on the field.
Now, at some point, you're going to have to punch this in, though. You're taking a ton of time off the clock. That's a very good job by the offense, but you're going to have to transition this into points.
But if you do get 3 here, you make it 17-7. You still cut it to a 1-score game.
I mean, look at D'Angelo Brown. He's huffing and puffing right now against Duke. He just had the ball for more than 35 minutes of this game. Jones to throw on 2nd down. Open man, Jonathan Lloyd. And he got in for a touchdown. Member of the Duke baseball team tracking that ball like Curtis Granderson. He made the grab. A 20-yard strike, and Duke is within a score.
Daniel Jones comes out. He looks like he's going to throw the screen to the left, and he slings the ball deep in the end zone for the touchdown. Quick screen left, go deep. Got just a little shoulder turn to get those defensive backs to set their feet so he could throw it over the top.
2nd career touchdown for Lloyd. Had one in the opener, and this one comes against the number 7 team in the country to cap off a 15-play, 8-minute, 53-second, 75-yard churning drive by the Duke Blue Devils. And with 6.5 to play, Lloyd and Jones make it a 3-point game. For Lamar Jackson, certainly the Heisman candidacy is a fun thing, an important thing in the career of a college football player. But right now, Louisville, which is still angling for an outside shot at the college football playoff, is being tested by the Duke Blue Devils tonight. And Daniel Jones has played very well. You wouldn't know necessarily by just those numbers who the Heisman candidate is right now.
No, and they also, Louisville's also a big factor in the conference race.
Absolutely.
So they don't need to lose a conference game tonight.
Coming off that loss against Clemson, then the bye week, there is a lot at stake in these final 6.5 minutes for Louisville, and obviously Duke is looking for a historic win. Malik Williams hit shy of the 20-yard line, and that is where Lamar Jackson and the Louisville Cardinal offense will take over, still leading by 3, but 6.5 crucial minutes to go.
Hey, Evan.
Getting the ball here in Louisville, and Jackson's a quiet leader. He leads this team by example, and entering the 4th quarter, he was quiet, calm, kind of emotionless during that long Duke drive, but he did say, this is on me, we got this, this is all on me. So this Louisville team has a quiet confidence to them following Jackson's lead, guys.
Yeah, it's kind of the epitome of that, right, Mal? He takes over at the 20-yard line. Louisville still has the lead, and Lamar with the ball as he has had in his hands very often tonight. 225 rushing yards for this team to start this drive tonight, and they've gotten a lot of damage done. But Lamar Jackson trying to get a crucial score late in this game.
Yeah, he started 6 for 8 in the passing game. He's only hit 6 of his last 16 passes. This has got to be a Heisman-type drive for him to take his team down and score.
He's got over 100 rushing yards now. Swings it out wide. And on the perimeter, a good open field tackle on Jamari Staples. Good effort to get there by Breon Borders. Haven't had to call his name a whole lot tonight.
Yeah, Breon's one of the better players on the field. Great defensive back for Duke.
And Staples picks up the first down, the 16th for Louisville tonight. Inside of 6 to play. What kind of mode are you in offensively? Are you in quick strike mode, or are you churning clock mode right now for Louisville?
A little bit of both. You're trying to score. You'll take the shot if you need to.
A penalty flag comes flying in.
Motion.
Yep. And the second most penalized team in the country entering tonight is Louisville. They were clean for the most of the first.
Offense number 50. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And Adam, I've been in Louisville's position. A lot of pressure on them right now.
Of course,
you have got
absolutely
to score. So you've got to do anything you need to pull out your best stuff. But with 5:33 left in this game, momentum has changed. Your guys are struggling. Duke moved there up front. Big boy moves. You can't have a motion penalty when you're sitting there if you're Hunter.
And now Jackson pulls it and runs. And Lamar Jackson with a big yardage play on the ground for a first down out across the 45-yard line. 20 more yards on the ground for Lamar Jackson.
This is what happens. You lose your integrity of your gap control because you're blitzing. He fakes the pump and just takes off and runs. It's when he's at his best. Hard to tackle in open field.
Entered tonight the second leading rusher in the ACC behind a very good running back in Dalvin Cook. Here's Smith on the ground, and he churns it out towards midfield. Jackson has passed Dalvin Cook for the time being for the most rushing yards of any ACC player so far this season.
And that's pretty cool because Dalvin Cook's a good player. But if you're Louisville, you also don't want to give the ball back to Duke because you can't get it away from them. They're playing keep away. So you'd like to kill this clock with 4:33 left and score. Remember, they're ahead by 3.
On the ground, it's Samuel. And Samuel able to slip a tackle and get additional yardage. He works his way to the 32-yard line. Big 17-yard run there.
You do want to stay in bounds. You do want that clock running. You've got the speed sweep underneath. Duke's blitzing up inside. Get your speed in space. Duke's a little bit tired on defense, even though they've been substituting a lot.
Jackson keeps. And Lamar not afraid to take hits. We've seen that all night tonight. Ben Humphreys putting a lick on him after 5 more rushing yards for Lamar Jackson. Inside of 4 minutes to play.
Adam, I do think we see him hand it to a running back down here because Duke's giving so much attention to Lamar Jackson. They could lose their eyes and the running back could squirt inside for a touchdown.
Remember, we saw that. Jeremy Smith on a traditional power run play did get a touchdown, but you said angles. You lose angles because you're paying so much attention to it.
Lose your eyes.
Jackson looking, pumping, moving, shifting, getting to the outside. First down, Lamar Jackson. Another strong run. This one for 11 yards, keeping the play alive. And now into the red zone.
Yeah, that time he gets outside of Terrell Lucas, a 6'3", 230-pound freshman that has to keep him contained up inside. Young freshman just lost his leverage from the outside.
And now Louisville into much better position. You don't really expect Duke to score twice in the final minutes. On the end around, Samuel again. This time he gets buried by Humphreys. Good job to finish it off by Marquise Price and Saxton as well. And that's an important play.
I would have thought the reverse would have been a great call. Duke's blitzing. They're coming after him. Really good discipline by Duke to stay up inside and play your position and not get out of position with a full sprint to the right, pitch back to the left.
Duke has all 3 of its timeouts remaining. Louisville is taking a little extra time. Wouldn't be shocked if Duke gets a stop here to use a timeout.
They just need to try to hold them to 3 so they can win with 7.
Jackson looking. Somehow stays on his feet. Jackson looking downfield. And now he goes down. Chased down by Joe Giles Harris. A momentum shifting play, and Giles Harris closes it out, and Duke uses that timeout with 2:09 to go. We thought we were going to see a little magic from Action Jackson, but Giles Harris with the pursuit did not give up and got the stop. Timeout.
Brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Crossing the Ohio River between Louisville, Kentucky and Jeffersonville, Indiana, that carries US 31, 2nd Street Bridge. We're in Louisville, Kentucky tonight. BYU, Mississippi State still to come. 3-point game, 2:11 to play. 2 big defensive stops by Duke to push Louisville back to 3rd down and 22. After Lamar Jackson has made some magic happen already on this drive with his feet.
And you need to get in better field goal range here.
For either Creaky or O'Hara. Jackson wants it all to the end zone for Staples, and it's broken up. DeAndre Singleton. Big time pass breakup for Duke. And now it brings up 4th down, and you're out of the field goal range for both Creaky and O'Hara right now.
Boy, what good defense. Duke's played the deep ball so well. They double cover it. You're looking at Singleton and Fields. They were all over it. And they're guarding a taller receiver in the end zone and batted it down. Now you're worried about the block, Adam. You're worried about the return since it's a longer field goal.
And this would be a career-long make from 46 for Evan O'Hara. A big kick on the way. And Evan O'Hara cannot connect, but there is a penalty marker thrown.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, number 31 on the defense. Automatic first down.
Breon Borders with the most crucial penalty of the night on either side. And not only, it was not running into the kicker, it's roughing the kicker. That's an automatic first down. And Louisville stays on the field with 2 minutes to play. It was Borders gunning for it.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable mistake by Duke. And here's a senior, probably the best player on the Duke football team, but you cannot hit the kicker's leg while his foot is in the air and he's standing there and took him out. So I totally understand the call. Critical call by Duke.
And now Louisville inside of 2 minutes doesn't have to do a whole lot. Duke only has 2 timeouts left to try to stop the clock. Jackson looking to put it away himself, and it'll be inside the 5-yard line. It is 1st and goal for Louisville on the doorstep of putting away one of their toughest wins of the season. We'll check where the knee went down and where the ball was in relation to the knee going down. Looks like there, and probably with that knee going down about the 2. Well, properly spotted here.
You just need to score here. You're not in any hurry.
Lamar Jackson runs into the end zone and might have done just enough to close out a Louisville win tonight. The penalty from Borders kept Louisville on the field and put Louisville into the end zone. The 30th touchdown of the year for Lamar Jackson. Might have been the biggest one of their season right now. O'Hara adds the extra point. And how crushed right now is Breon Borders. The roughing penalty against the kicker kept Louisville's offense on the field. Jackson punches it in after the Borders penalty. Celebrating its 12th year, sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds.
We should give Lamar Jackson a lot of credit on that drive. He did exactly what he needed to do to get him in the end zone and score and pretty much put this game away. Now, if you're Louisville, you don't want to give a kickoff return opportunity for Duke. They've had 5 since, 2013?
Remember, they don't have Edwards, but Sean Wilson has one against Notre Dame this year. You cannot give up a special teams touchdown if you are Louisville, and a special team score might be the only thing to keep Duke in this game.
Yeah, kickoff return for a touchdown, then you come back with an onside kick. It's about your only chance.
So it is Sean Wilson who did it against Notre Dame. And will work his way out with a decent return out near the 30-yard line as Devontae Pete ran him down. So when we're done, we're going to take you out to Provo. Mississippi State, rare SEC team going to Provo, Utah to take on BYU. And after that, Kevin Connors and Nicole Briscoe will run down what happened between the Indians and the Blue Jays in the ALCS. Game 3 of the WNBA Finals. Get you set up for a huge weekend in college football and, of course, NFL news as we get set for Week 6 of the season on Sunday. It's SportsCenter at night when we're done with the back end of our doubleheader from Provo.
And now Adam Duke is forced to do something they didn't want to do, and that's drop back and throw the ball downfield and try to protect against a really good rush from the Louisville defense.
Which will rush 4 against Jones. Pocket collapsing. Down he goes. Back towards the line of scrimmage. And James Hearns helping close it out. Duke only has 2 timeouts with which to work. They won't use one here as the clock hits 1:10. Jones over the middle was looking for Schneider, incomplete.
Yeah, they're matching up underneath in man. He's got to get the ball out of his hands quickly. That 4-man rush is getting all around him. And they've got to go for 4th down, obviously, so he's got 2 more downs to try to make the first, but you're not going to punt anymore. Got to make a 1st down, then try to throw something deep.
And time running out on Duke, which hasn't been a huge point-scoring offense overall this season. Pressure again on Jones. Being chased. Daniel Jones only got to about the 35. Good job by James Hearns in pursuit. Duke will not use a timeout here. And it's 4th down, and the game comes down to this. I'm surprised they won't use one here just to set up a play.
Well, if you don't make the 1st down, it's over anyway.
Yeah, it's over anyway. Well, that's why I thought they'd maybe take one. Blitz from Louisville. Underneath, broken up, and Louisville's going to survive. Big play, Stacey Thomas knocking it away from Schneider. And the final half minute will be churned away by the Cardinals, who are going to move to 5-1.
What does it take to stay close to it?
In the state of South Carolina, as undefeated Clemson will take on 4-1 North Carolina State in Death Valley. It's been a rough spot for NC State to go and try to win football games. You'll see it at noon on ABC. 3rd ranked and 6-0 Clemson taking on NC State tomorrow. Part of the start of your college football Saturday. Last time Duke beat a top 10 team was back in 1989. Steve Spurrier was their head coach. Last time they did it on the road, 1971. On the road against the Stanford Indians. Became the Cardinals a year later, became the Cardinal 9 years after that. And tonight, Duke gave Louisville everything it could handle, churned away as much of the clock as it possibly could, kept Lamar Jackson in check as much as they could. But Jackson and the Cardinals come away with a 24-14 win, and what was an important game to get after the bye week and after that tough loss against Clemson.
Yes, Duke takes a lot of pride home. They improved. They played well as a team. But if you're Bobby Petrino, you're 5-1 and moving forward, and a lot of things to work on.
We'll see how this looks to the eyes of the playoff committee going forward and things like that. But it's the 500th win in Louisville Cardinal history. For Molly and Mac, so long from Louisville, College Football Scoreboard with Adnan and Joey.